Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be looking at another replay for League of Legends. This is going to be a Silver 2 Veigar support game. So special thanks to my main man Dylan out there, always supporting the channel with another review here. So let's go ahead and get to it. Dylan knows the drill. For anyone new to the channel, you can find a copy of the Google Doc in the description as well as timestamps if you just want to skip to the game start. Or to the post game if you're interested in hearing that. We're going to start off with a real quick op.gg review, then we're going to do some early game predictions. I haven't actually watched the replay yet, sort of talk about what Dylan and anyone else in this situation should be thinking about in the pregame, and then I'll take some notes as we watch the video and bring them all together in the post game. And then if you're interested in getting a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. We can set that up. If you want to watch more coaching videos, you can check out the playlist here. And if you want to watch some of my champion guides, you can click on that and check those out as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in here. So full disclosure, I have only played Veigar support a handful of times. Dylan has been very, very successful with it. It looks like he was running really hot. So he was, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row with it over the last week and a half or so, accumulating 63%. So Dylan's definitely onto something, doing something right, at least for silver, and just really overall in general. He's running 81%, so that's pretty dang good with Veigar. And I've seen him, he's gone up. I think he had been kind of lower silver for a lot of the season. He may have even started the season bronze, but he's been coming up quite a bit lately. So good job, Dylan. These coaching sessions are paying off. But here we go. Okay, so you want to have one control ward every 5 minutes, one normal ward per minute. Looks like you're doing really good on the wards for the most part. This is excellent. You got 8, 9, 10, 5, 4. A little bit light on these, but then again, these are quick games. I mean, 23-minute victory, 4 wards. That's not too far off from 5, which would be, you know, roughly 1 ward every 5 minutes. So, you know, you should be at about 4.5 wards here. So that's pretty good for that. Then in terms of normal ward coverage, yeah, 18, 23 minutes, pretty good. So can bring up the warding just a little bit, but it is always a temptation, especially if you get ahead in lane as an AP support, just to get that early amp tome, which is going to put you behind on wards, but it can really pay off if you get some kills. So if you're ever playing something like a Zyra, Brand, Veigar, Fiddlesticks, Vel'Koz, anything like that, and you feel like you can really punish them, like they already used their summoner, their flash, their heal, their exhaust, and you just really want to come back in a lane and get that burst at level 6, make sure you secure that kill. Veigar falls in that category too with his ult. Then sometimes it's worth it to get an amp tome early, which does delay your Sightstone by a few minutes, which obviously will affect your warding. So it is okay if you're ahead on an AP support and you're not too afraid of the jungler killing you over and over again, to get a little bit more aggressive early on if you can smell blood in the water. Okay, so pretty good warding overall. You could be a little bit light on AP supports. Overall runes I recommend: 9 Magic Pen, 9 HP, 9 AP Blues, and 3 AP Quints. I'm pretty sure that's what you run here, right? Yep, textbook. You are running the Magic Resist, and you're running the Armor. I suppose you probably don't have the HP Yellows. So I've mentioned that in several other videos. They're very expensive. You don't have them, whatever. Just use the Armor. It's fine. The rune system's going to change anyways. And then I would run AP Blues if you have them, because you're not going to be taking that much heat. I mean, I guess it's okay to run the Magic Resist against Nami, because she might hit you with some waves. So it's up to you. I mean, that's fine. You are going to be getting a lot of AP off of your Q anyway, so Magic Resist is fine in this matchup. Build order, I would go something like Oasis, Ardent, Leandri's Void Staff. And I'll talk about Ardent here in a second. You do want to go for, or you went for the Morellonomicon. This is okay. There's a couple reasons why I might opt into something else. Number one, is very expensive. It's 2,900 gold. And Veigar typically doesn't have that much in the way of mana problems, especially if you're not spamming your Q to farm. So typically he doesn't have that much in the way of mana problems, so you're paying a lot of gold for mana. The ability power is okay, like it's good. Obviously ability power is really good. He has great ratios. You're going to get quite a bit of ability power off of his Q though. As support, maybe not as much as mid, but you know, you're probably still going to stack up another 50 to 100 ability power over the course of a game from your passive. So that's okay. You don't really need Grievous Wounds against their team. It's all right, but you don't have like a major healing threat. Like they don't have a Soraka. Like Nami's going to heal a little bit, but her wave's on a 10-second cooldown. near the end of the game. So it's okay, but it's not like insane. Now Draven does usually get lifesteal pretty early. Gragas does have some self-healing, but I think Katarina, one of her abilities naturally has a healing debuff on it. I don't know. It's okay. My concern here is you're not getting any penetration, and that's what I feel like Veigar primarily benefits from, because all of his spells have really high base damages and really high scaling, and so magic penetration goes a very, very long way. I do the math on this, and you probably already watched it already, but on my recent like AP itemization video that I released right before my mid lane tier list, I talked about the items, and I could link that for you, and or if just let me know in the comments if you want to know where that is. It's on the main channel. Let me see, whatever. I can just link it really quick. Let me go to the main page. And I do sort of the math on various AP items. Where did I put it here? 3 tips to boot micro, pick ban dodge, ADC tier list. I may have just put it in with, oh, here's the itemization. Mid itemization. Okay, here we go. There we go. So it is on the front page. Like I said, you've probably already watched this, or at least part of it. But I do the math on various items. You can see in the timestamps, you don't want to watch the whole thing, such as Rod of the Ages, Morello, Leon Void Staff, so on and so forth. And the highest single item raw damage power spike is Leandri's, even if you're not applying the double proc on it, which you will be because you're going to stun somebody when you hit them with your full combo. So it is going to apply the double proc most of the time. But I go through the math on all of these. And this is, you know, by far the most cost-efficient one over time. So you're getting up into like the, 145. This one's 151 efficiency. And even in like the really... very basic scenarios, this is getting up to 145 and potentially even higher, and so that's already comparing with a fully stacked Rod of the Ages right when you get it. So there's a reason that a lot of the very top APs will get this item like ASAP, and then Void Staff is super efficient as well. So anyways, let me just link that here really quick. So yes, everything on Morello is really nice. The CDR is really nice, but I feel like getting a Leandri's a lot earlier, you're just going to dish out a lot more damage, or Void Staff. Because it not only gives you that penetration, but it gives you that percentage health damage, which is good even on targets that don't have a ton of health. And it's obviously really good on targets that do. I would definitely take Ignite over Exhaust. They do have some scary stuff, but the problem is you're not going to be able to get close enough to that scary stuff to matter, because Veigar is fairly close range and he's very squishy. Or like he's very squishy, and he doesn't have a lot of escapes, is what I'm trying to say. So that means you're not going to be able to walk up to Draven to exhaust him, or he's just going to blow you up. You know, you're not going to be able to walk up to Orianna or to Malphite. They're already going to do most of their damage up front before you can even exhaust them. So you might as well just go ahead and take Ignite, and then that way, whenever you stun somebody, you know they're dead. Like, you just full combo them, ignite them, boom, gone. So that's what I would recommend going with him. On a similar note, I would max out that E in the mid game, so that's your stun. It's going to give you more chances to throw your stun out, because you're probably going to be the primary initiation here. I guess Sion can try to just randomly run in and maybe hit somebody, but you don't have much initiation outside of that. So you being able to drop that Q at such a long range, they don't really have a lot of champions that can jump out of that very well. In fact, none of them have a dash that can get out of it. The wall is going to stop a Gragas E. I guess it won't stop Malphite if he ults. But no one's walking out of that here. So if you just pin him in, you don't even have to land the stun right on him. Just put it up around him. And that's going to be some great initiation. So having that on a shorter cooldown is a big deal. And also taking that stun from 1.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds is astronomical. That extra 1 second can be a massive difference. So I would recommend maxing that once you get through the laning phase. So, get 2 or 3 points in your Q for harassment in lane, and then switch over to E, and then after you finish E, then finish up your Q, and then get W last. Now, Stoneborn Pact Ardent Interaction is another one that I would mention here, especially because you have 3 different people who would benefit heavily from those auto attacks. So, of course, you've got Sivir. Then you have Riven and Scion, who would both also benefit from that Ardent Sensor buff. So, you know how this works. I've talked about it on stream. But for people watching, with Stoneborn Pact, anytime you crowd control someone, so like with Veigar's stun, they get a little rune over their head. It lasts for 5 seconds. Anytime anyone hits that person, then they get healed for a very small amount, which doesn't matter that much. But what matters is that that heal counts as a heal coming from you. So that counts as a heal from you, which triggers Ardent Sensor. So basically, if you stun someone with a Veigar stun, and anyone who auto-attacks that person gets the Ardent Sensor buff for the 6 seconds, and it refreshes every time they attack that person for the next 5 seconds. So that rune doesn't go away. Everyone can keep hitting them. So in other words, you can put Ardent Sensor on Sivir, Riven, and Scion all for a grand total of around 11 seconds, because you can refresh it every time you hit them for 5 seconds, and it starts at 6 seconds. So that means you're only going to have 3 seconds of downtime on Ardent Sensor before you can cast your next stunning. It's a 14-second cooldown. And with all of this extra CDR, you're probably going to have no downtime. So if you get to, like 40% CDR, you could get it to like 8 seconds downtime on your stun. So that means you're always going to have 100% uptime on everyone on your whole team having that Ardent Sensor buff in a team fight. So that's a really big deal, obviously. So Ardent Sensor is great. I mean, it gives you the CDR that you want. If you get that instead of Morello's early, it's a lot cheaper. It's only 2,300 gold. Gives you 60 ability power. Gives you some mana regen that you want. Now, the plus healing and shielding, obviously, not going to do a lot for you. It will increase the healing that people get off of your the Stoneborn Pact proc. But yeah, that's not going to be too much. But keep in mind that stat, the plus healing and shielding is only worth about 355 gold. And every single Ardent Sensor proc, at least at the time that you filmed this video, was about 1,900 gold. After the changes on it, it's going to get closer to about 1,200 gold when you complete Ardent Sensor, and then it goes up a little bit over time, maybe caps out at 1,600, 1,700. I haven't looked at the math yet. Either way, it's going to be somewhere around, you're paying 2,300 gold for about a 4,000 gold value. And if we look at, this video here, when we're looking at Leandri's and such, if we pull up that Google Doc again here, these things like Morellonomicon has a gold value of, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3,900 gold. So you're paying about 2,900 gold for about a 3,900 gold value, which is pretty good. But now I'm telling you that with Ardent, even if you only buffed one person, even if you only buffed Sivir, you would go from 2,300 to about 3,900. Even if the plus healing and shielding doesn't do anything at all, just take off the 355 gold, knock it down to a cool 3,500 gold. So then you're paying 2,300 for 3,500 gold. You're getting 152% efficiency. So even if you're only affecting one person, even if it does not even have the stat on it that says plus healing and shielding, they just took that off of Ardent Sensor. If you just apply it to one person, you're getting 152% efficiency here. And everything else is all good. You want the movement speed that helps keep you safe. You want the ability power. You want the mana regen. You want just everything on that item except for plus healing and shielding. So every other stat is super efficient. Even on Morellonomicon, I'm taking that 400 mana at face value. I'm giving you full cost for that, which you don't need that much mana most of the time as Veigar, because he's a burst mage. Like, he's not going to be doing a ton of poking. So yeah, 152% efficiency. And if you affect 2 people, then you're going to be getting up to around 5,000. Let's just call it like 4,750, right? So if you're affecting, let's say that Riven and Sivir get this buff. Now all of a sudden you're getting to 206% efficiency. So it just gets astronomically more efficient. So I would highly, highly recommend going with Bond of Stone. Now you are giving up Deathfire Touch, but it's not really going to make that much of a difference most of the time with the Deathfire Touch. You could even, because they've nerfed this mastery so much, because it's only 25% of your total ability power as extra damage, which, okay, if you get to like 200 ability power, that's 50 extra damage. So you would do 58 extra damage over time on one of your abilities, which is okay. I mean, that's not bad, obviously. But, I don't know. It's hard to quantify damage. So if that's like a 0.5 ratio or something on... Or actually, it's a 0.25, so I guess we could quantify it. It'd be hard. If we just counted that passive as roughly being like 100 ability power or something like that, which is very generous. If you counted that as ability power, it'd be about 2,000 gold worth of stats near the end of the game. I don't think it's that powerful. It's nowhere close. But even then, if you just affect 2 people with Ardent Sensor, it's still going to be worth way, way more than that. Even 1 person is pushing it. So yeah, you're giving up this a little bit. You're going to have to give up Piercing Thoughts, which is kind of bad. You're going to get Stoneborn. And then you'll get the extra movement speed. You'll get the extra flash and ignite, which is good. You get the extra health, so you can't get beaten down. You know, you'll get some pretty decent stuff in there. And you could even keep most of this tree if you just want to get rid of this and just not have the biscuit and meditation. You could keep this tree, but I'm not saying you 100% have to do that. I'm just saying that Ardent Sensor is ridiculously overpowered, and you can get it on Veigar pretty efficiently because your stun is almost guaranteed to hit a lot of people if you drop it in the middle of a team fight. So it's up to you, but I do think that Stoneborn Ardent is a really good potential combination. Okay, so let's talk about the pregame here. You probably lose the lane early without Ignite. I think Nami can harass you out. There's always a chance that you could just straight up blow him up if you catch him out a few times with your stun, especially once you hit level 6. But I expect you'll probably lose it unless Sion comes down. But if he does, they don't have a way to blink out of it. So it's going to be pretty good ganks if he shows up. Your team scales a lot harder in the late game, so you don't have to do anything heroic in laning phase. You know, Katarina and Riven, if they're doing their thing, they should outscale. Orianna, and definitely Malphite. Malphite is virtually worthless at all points in the game, especially if he can't, like, initiate and start a fight by hitting 4 people with his ult. He's just going to have a hard time, so I think that you should be in pretty good shape there. Just don't let Gragas get a bunch of successful ganks bottom and get towers and dragons and things like that. Like, don't let him snowball that Draven. Otherwise, I think you should win. Watch out for Malphite teleporting behind you, so make sure you're clearing out those wards. Don't let him TP gank you. And you could definitely outsplit push him later with Riven, and I think you can win team fights if you just get a good stun off at the start. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. How long is that preamble? A little bit longer than I wanted, but I want to just go ahead and just articulate, profess my love for Ardent Sensor just one more time in case you hadn't heard it for the first, like, 5 million times that I'm always talking about that item on the channel. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. I do think that Veigar is an okay support, especially at Bronze and Silver. I don't think people are going to pressure you that hard, and he has a lot of burst and control, so I do think that he's pretty decent. I have played him a couple of times. I would try to go mostly for the surround on him rather than go for the, like, on-the-spot stun. Okay, that's good. I mean, Cat, both solo lanes should win. It's possible that Orianna beats Cat, but I would favor Cat. At least in solo queue at Silver, I would definitely favor Cat. Orianna is actually surprisingly pretty hard to play. I mean, Katarina is too, but I always favor very heavy damage dealers over control mages because I think people just don't leverage what it takes to be a good control mage at lower elos a lot of times. They'll just, like, control mages rely very heavily on being in the proper position and reacting to different situations. Whereas, like, burst damage mages just go in and kill people most of the time, so it's just a lot easier to play in a lower elo, I think. Anyways, okay, so Sion's going top. Yeah, just farming it out. That's about what you have to do here. Now, if you had Ignite here, you could probably pressure this Nami and maybe kill her if you got a stun on her. It'd be close. But without it, she could be pressuring you much harder. If I was that Nami, I would have taken Ignite and just gone for kills on your lane here. go for bubble kills with Draven. I think pretty much no matter what you do, if you have a Draven in your lane, you need to go Ignite, you need to go hardcore early on. But seems like they're just going to give you a pass here, which is good. Because like I said, you don't have to win this lane. You don't have to do anything special, because your other lanes are probably going to win. So, like I said, I haven't watched this. Okay, good. Run. He can still beat you up. Yeah, he's still Draven. They nerfed his gold generation on his snowball a couple of patches ago. They didn't nerf his damage, so he still does, you know, 1,500 gold worth of damage at level 1. Off of it just his Q. Gets to start off with like a free BF sword. And some change, like a free BF sword and a long sword at level 1. Okay, so you're low on mana. You want to be careful here. It's been a little while since we've seen Gragas, I think. So, watch out for a gank, especially when you're... Okay, good. Cat's going. So now you should be feeling really confident by chilling. You should say, okay, I really don't need to do anything now. I do like to coin purchase. For people out there that are watching the video that might say, oh, why didn't you just start Spell Thieves? Don't ever start Spell Thieves until they change that item. As of 7.8, 7.18, 7.19, do not get that item. Coin is just so much more gold efficiency. And it gives you a lot more mana, which translates into more damage early on for a lot of mages. So there's just really, like, virtually no reason to ever get Spell Thieves right now. Now, if they change it in 2 patches or something, okay, but right now, no. Okay, yeah, just exhaust him. Exhaust him. Oh, you already used it. Okay, good stun. Okay, good. You guys flash. That's about all you can do, being out of mana that much. It's a good stun on him. Whoa. Yeah, you need to... He needs to leave. I mean, yeah, once you see that Gragas, it's done. It's like, oops, okay. And then just slowly, like, walk backwards. Actually, quickly walk backwards. About to say, we haven't seen Gragas in a little while. I'm very surprised he has not shown up. Because if I was Gragas, you better believe I'd be trying to snowball this bot lane. It's got a Draven in it, and your other lanes are just probably going to lose. So, like, Katarina's way too far ahead. And you need to be thinking this in your mind, too, when you start seeing what's going on this map right now. You need to always put yourself in the jungler's shoes, right? He's probably still in this bush. I mean, she might be trying to bait him with Spell Shield or something. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he just backed. Yeah, I'd be very scared bot lane. Because this is really the only place he can go. Okay, well, Malphite got a solo kill somehow. I guess he just popped... He just leveled up on Riven or something. Whatever. She's still going to outscale him later on. But Katarina's so far ahead right now that he can't really gank middle. Kat's very hard to gank, too, because she's slippery. Not very hard, but she's moderately hard to gank if you don't bait her jump. Okay, here she comes. Did they see her? Yeah, there you go. Drop stun on him. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Great. Yeah, combo him. Okay, and she's got it. Okay, good. Yeah, that's perfect. You want her to get it, too. If you want to give anybody kills, you want it to be her. And she's going to snowball harder than Sivir will. Cat's one of the highest snowballers in the game, so... I wouldn't do... I'd call her off of this. Gragas could be right here. Okay. Well, y'all got away with it. It's good. I mean, one nice thing about Veigar's stun is you can walk up and stun, and you don't catch tower aggro by doing that. Although, I would have caught aggro. Okay, so let me show you how you can work on this. That was a good execution, but... and watch how this plays out again. As a support, you want to try to grab the aggro on a tower. If your team's going to dive, you want to try to grab the aggro and then walk out to the edge of the tower range, and then right before you're about to take a fatal tower shot, then walk out. So as Veigar, you could probably take 2 or 3 tower shots. and then walk out at the last moment just to give that Katarina as much time as possible to try to kill them. So let's see. Okay. So what you want to do here, you want to go up, land your stun first, so put the stun on him, and then immediately hit her with a Q so that you grab tower aggro, and then walk to like right here, ward this bush if you have a ward, and then walk to right here, or you... Let's say you could try to walk all the way back, but you'll probably be dead by then without using your flash especially. But try to grab the aggro and then walk to right here, and then as soon as you've had enough, you can't do anymore, then step out for a moment, and then let someone else get the tower aggro, and then walk back in and walk over to safety. Now you're at risk of getting like smacked by Gragas out of this bush, but it's better than him rolling out and killing the Katarina. Okay, you got the sun. Okay, so Katarina just went before you even got there. Okay, so she walks out. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, there's nothing much extra you could do there. But just in general, when you're trying to dive as a support, try to get the tower aggro first, because you're the one who's going to be doing the least damage. So you can afford to walk to a safe position, typically, and take shots, and then get out of there, just to preserve as much HP as possible on your damage dealer under the tower. So they can do their job and get out of there, and then that way she's still healthy. If Gragas shows up, she could potentially still fight Gragas. Now, obviously, you know, there's some limitations to that. If it's like a jungler that's coming in, and it's like a mega tank, it's like a Scion, and he has like, you know, 3,000 HP, and you're like a dinky little Janna with 1,500 HP, okay, just let Scion take the aggro. But like, especially early game, when everyone's pretty weak to towers, that's a pretty good strategy. Okay, nice stun. Not a lot to say here so far. I mean, it's good. Just trying to give a couple of little tips, but these are just more like theoretical tips. Overall, as far as your plan, it's pretty good. Okay, I like it. Boots. What items are we looking at here? Okay, now she's getting crushed in CS, so... Draven's not that far up in terms of itemization, though. Alright, yeah, cat's out of control. Or he's probably going to get tower for that, though, which is not great. That's right. Show him your sign, gotta represent. I'm not sure if it was worth giving up first tower, but that's okay. Scion should have rotated over there to cover middle, but... I mean, you could have maybe pinged assist on middle, like ping Scion a couple of times and ping assist middle. Say, hey, Scion, help us out middle. You know. Relatively minor, but maybe he wasn't paying attention. Maybe he was just getting blue and he didn't even notice that middle was about to go down. So maybe just type, like, help middle or something. Or can you help us middle? You know, try to do it in a polite way, but get him to go over there to save that tower, because he could have easily done it. So I'll write that down. I mean, I'm searching. I'm searching for stuff in the early game to talk about because, you know, this is pretty good textbook early game. Yeah, blow that plan up. Okay, good. Okay. Write down direct Scion to cover mid. Okay, good. I'll look at that again here. This cat's rolling up. Good, yeah, there you go. Just drop it right on top of him. He doesn't have flash, there's no way he's getting out. Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, once he doesn't have flash, they have no escapes. Now, Orianna's coming. You guys need to watch out. If Gragas shows up with Orianna, that could be a problem. Yeah, you need to ping her picture. Like, press tab, and then ping Orianna's picture so they know what you're talking about. Just like, press tab, and then ping her picture a couple of times. Because they may not know why you're saying back. They might just think, oh, he's just scared of the dive, but they may just not even see Orianna. In fact, they probably didn't. So, just ping back a few times like you did, and then ping, like, Orianna's picture a couple of times, and then ping Gragas' picture a couple of times. So that they understand why you're pinging them back. They're like, oh, Orianna, oh, Gragas, we haven't seen him in a while. I can't move him here, can I? No. That's interesting. So if I ping on their picture, it shows me like where they are on the map. So yeah, good communication with what you want them to do. Just clarify it a little bit by pinging the pictures so that it helps them get a better understanding of why you're saying what you're saying. Okay, good exhaust. Oh! Wow. Why would he cancel that early? Anyways, okay, well, exhaust saved her life there, so that's good. I still would favor Ignite a lot of the times, but... Oh, man. He probably just threw his keyboard through the window. Yeah, just throw it through the window. Yeah, he's got to be pretty mad about that one. Alright. Yeah, you probably have a lot of gold. Wow, Cat's 8-0. Yep. Okay, so now you need to be thinking closeout. So you need to be going for, like, Dragon here. Just secure a lot of vision, close out, get Dragon, go get Rift Herald before it disappears. Just the risk, your major risk now, the only way you lose this is if people start getting cocky and they lose focus. So if Katarina just starts trying to go in 1v5, loses a couple of times, rages at the rest of her team for being bad, then goes AFK or something. We've all had games like that. So you don't want that to happen. So you need to give her something to do. Yeah, she's really strong, but they can still beat her if they catch her out of position. If they still crowd control her, like if, you know, Orianna ults her and then Malphite ults her, she'll die. Or Gragas, like, you know, interrupts her channel or something. Like, she can still be beaten. So the main threat here is lacking focus. So you need to give them that focus. Okay, you need to break this lane, first of all. So you need to tell Sion and Cat, like, get this dragon. They can't fight you. If Katarina comes here, she'll kill them all. So you need to just really press this advantage. You need to say, okay, go get this dragon. Sion is calling it. So that's good. You can call it too. But if you have this kind of advantage and your mid laner's just completely steamrolling theirs, call them down. Say, hey, come down here, help me kill bot lane. Just sit on this tower. Just tell them literally, just come sit on it. Just like 4-man ARAM bottom until this tower goes down. What are they going to do? They're not going to do anything. Katarina can just kill them under tower. All you have to do is stun them and Cat kills them all. Orianna's not going to move from middle fast enough. Okay, here comes... So this is kind of how they're going to potentially get back in this game, is they just outmaneuver you like this. Yeah. Yeah, now they potentially could get bottom tower. So this is really one of the only ways they could get back in, is if Katarina gets too bold or they just outmaneuver you, and that's what they did on the map. So if you would have told them after this dragon, come sit bottom until this tower is down, Because they can't take mid tower. They can't take mid because it's already gone. Orianna can't go up that far. You can just turn around and rotate over to middle and kill her. Just have Katarina, while you're sieging this, Orianna's pushed up to here or something, say, okay, Katarina, go kill her. And then Kat just goes and runs her down. So tell everybody to sit down here and break this tower, and then that's going to free everybody up to go take these other objectives on the map. Okay, so I'll write that down. Okay, so I'm going to say direct everyone to come sit bottom after mid's down. Okay, let me see what happened down here. Did y'all get some more kills, I guess? Yeah, Riven's just running in and killing him. And Sivir's just so good at this type of game, too, where you just run around and just pick people off and kill them. Like, you're just not escaping from her, and Katarina's just going to keep 1v1ing. Who has the Rift? Okay, Sion does. Yeah, so obviously you're still in a commanding position, but that's for perfect play when it's a closer game. If your mid laner takes mid like that fast, direct them to come bottom, take dragon, and then run around. Just like if you take bottom and take dragon, then you rotate middle and have everyone sit on middle, right? That's the most standard play in the book, right? That's how probably like 50% of games go, if not more, is one team takes bot lane, takes tower, takes dragon, rotates middle, takes middle, and then that's how the game is won. It just sort of snowballs out of control from there. Well, the opposite can also be true in those more rare cases where mid lane tower falls first. Then you get your mid laner to come sit on bottom. Also, if Riven comes down there, like if you need Riven to TP down to help you at some point, if you even want to do a 5v4 bot lane, like Malphite's not a huge threat to take that tower. He takes towers so slowly, it's not gonna matter. Like it would take him like 3 waves or more to kill that top tower. So you can just race him at that point. Just send 5 people bottom, just dogpile everybody, kill them, and then just like run into their base. And just say, okay, Malphite, sure, we'll race you. If he doesn't want a TP to follow. If he does follow, great, you just force the 5v5 and you just kill them all. Because Katarina is so much stronger. But yeah, just force the issue a little bit more. Once again, you know, obviously this game is pretty much wrapped up unless someone, like, DCs or just starts raging out. Where'd Sion use that? Did he just use it? Oh, he just used it middle. Okay. Good. Yeah, get him out of here. They could pick him off and kill him. And once again, you know, it's hard to critique much in this in terms of, like, your play, because it's, you know, obviously really effective and it's working. I like the itemization. I like going for Sword Boots early. That said, I would have probably gone for the Haunting Guys into Leandri's here. Or Ardent Sensor. Ardent would give you the CDR with some more powerful buffs. Yeah, here's kind of a problem is if Kat... She's so strong right now that it doesn't matter, but this is kind of the mentality that's really tough. She's 18-1, but if she and 25 stack Magi, but even if she was just like, you know, 10-1 with like 1 item and not a stacked Magi, she could have died there. Ha. That's pretty funny. Man, he is mad. Get him, Sion. So yeah, I'm just talking about theoretical stuff that are in, like, what would happen in closer games if you ran this back. Games that weren't such a blowout. That's, in theory, like, you gotta, even if you're ahead in games, you gotta figure out, okay, well, how do we lose this game, right? Like, what's the only way they win this game? And take that away from them. Don't let them have it. That's how you make sure that you close out games and don't throw. Don't let them have the situation they want. So the only time when it looked like they were starting to get what they wanted was when they went bottom, and like your two powerful people, your Katarina and Scion and Riven were all on the top side of the map, getting Rift Herald. And they traded that and got 2 kills on bottom. Now, yes, that's not a huge advantage, obviously. You got Rift Herald out of it, and I think they killed Malphite. Something like that. It wasn't a huge deal. But that's how they kind of had, like, the door just cracked a little bit open there when they did that. Right? Riven came down and saved the tower. That's right. Riven came down and saved the tower after that. But don't give them that. Don't give them anything. No daylight. Nothing. No crack in the door. All right, so, you know, you want to get them down there. After you take that dragon, say, hey, Katarina, come down here. Let's sit on this tower, kill it, and then we're going to go do Rift Herald, and then we're going to use it middle, and we're just going to run it up middle. That's what I would have said to do. And they did half of that. They abandoned you and let you die bottom, and then they got Rift Herald, and then they ran it up middle. But just have them take that extra step first and make sure that tower's down, that y'all are safe, and that the Draven and the Nami are pushed into their tier 2, so they can't threaten your tier 1 when you go middle with the Rift. Okay, so overall, great game. I mean, like I said, there's very little to critique at all with your micromanagement that game. I mean, you were very safe. You rarely died, if ever. The one time you just got dogpiled bot lane, and Veigar is susceptible to that. They just sat on you bot, and it was just 4v2 bottom. And Malphite just ulted you under tower. I mean, you can't do a lot about that if you don't have flash. Okay, so it's just bigger kind of macro stuff to think about here. So, and most of your macro is pretty good. You were telling people to get back bot lane when they were charging in, doing goofy stuff, diving tier 2 towers. So I'll go ahead and mark that down. Well, let me just do it in order. Okay, so first of all, direct Scion to cover mid, rotates bot. Now, he may not listen to you, but just type something like just ping help on the mid tower, ping Scion, and then just say, can you help cover mid real quick, or just something. Just type it up real quick. Help cover mid, please, or something like that. You know, just say something polite about it so he doesn't think, oh, you're telling me what to do. You know, just tell him, hey, can you help us cover mid really quick while Cat's coming down here. Say it before she even gets down there. Just say it while she's roaming down bottom, and he's in the area doing wolves or something. Like, hey, Scion, can you cover mid really quick? Okay, okay, so ping portraits from the tab to communicate more effectively. So not only ping back, but ping Y back. So ping the pictures, ping Oriana, ping that she's missing from middle, ping her portrait a couple of times, ping Gragas. So don't use all 80 of your pings on back. Just use like 2 or 3 pings on back, you know, a couple of pings on Ori, a couple of pings on Gragas, and then just like question mark like the jungle right next to you, so that they understand, oh, those people might be rotating, and then they know, oh, this is why. So, you know, that way they're not going to be thinking, oh, this guy's just a little pansy. He doesn't want to dive. He's afraid that these people are going to turn around and kill us. It's like, no, I'm not afraid of the people that are running from us. I'm afraid of the people we can't see that could be coming at us through the jungle. Okay, so just ping the portraits to help communicate that more effectively. Now, that didn't bite you because Oriana was in such a weakened state, and you had superior numbers, so they couldn't really do anything about it. But once again, if it was a closer game, if the Gragas and Oriana did really rotate on you guys down there, and those bot laners that were running away turned on you, and they had like a 4v3, and the gold was relatively close, or if Malphite teleported down on top of that tier 1 tower and they collapsed on you like 5v3, that could have been a really bad outcome. So then they could have triple killed you and got a dragon, or triple killed you and got bot tower. And obviously that would have helped them get back into the game. So this is why you need to communicate this stuff with your team. You could even ping, if you wanted to, you could ping Malphite and his teleport, just to let him know, hey, Malphite can teleport on us. Okay. So get Katarina to sit on that bottom lane after she takes mid lane. So just like I explained earlier, you know, the standard rotation is jungler camps bottom, takes bottom tower, takes dragon, and then bot lane rotates up to mid lane, takes mid lane, and then goes to go get Rift Herald after that. It's like the standard 1, 2, 3 how to win League of Legends. Sit on bot lane as a jungler, take tower, take dragon, take middle, take Rift. I guess that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's the five-step program to winning in League of Legends. Camp bottom, tower, drag, middle, Rift. That's the formula. If you can do that every game, you're going to win. But sometimes it does happen in kind of reverse order where mid lane just gets shattered and somehow the mid lane goes down first. Remember that mid lane and top lane have more armor than the bot lane tower, and that's typically why bot lane tower goes down. Also, there's just more people in bot. So if you have a successful gank and you kill, you know, one or both of the people bottom, you're going to have 3 people beating on a tower instead of, if you get a successful gank middle, there's only going to be 2 people beating on that tower. But it has a lot less armor for the first 8 minutes of the game, so that's typically why bot towers will go down first. But anyways, in this weird scenario where Katarina shatters middle so hard that she takes the tower, you know, tell her to come down and help you do that snowball just in kind of a different order, where take mid, go bottom, sit on bottom, take tower, drag, Rift. Okay, and I think that's about it that I mentioned. I mean, that's pretty much it. Okay, so try to keep your team from running solo hero missions. This Katarina was doing it at the end, running in, like, you know, 1v3, 1v4... type of stuff. You know, you don't want to seem like the fun police, but you need to make sure you win games. Because I've seen it happen, and I'm sure you have too, where someone's really far ahead, you know, they're like 7-0, and they're like, oh, you know, I'm Riven, or I'm whatever, I'm Zed, I'm Katarina, I'm Fizz, and then they just try to run into 3 people, and just thinking they can win, and they die like 2 or 3 times in a row, and then either they start saying, you guys suck, I'm so far ahead, you know, how are you losing this? Or, you know, someone else on their team will be like, dude, quit feeding. And the guy will be like, shut up, you're an idiot. You're 1-2 in lane. I was 8-0. You all know how the conversation starts, okay? It's one way or another. So you need to keep the momentum going. You can't let people get caught out and killed. And that didn't happen because Katarina was like 15-1 with like a 25-stack Magi, right? So she was able to pull it off. In a lot of games, someone's not going to be that fed. They're going to think they're that strong, but they're not that strong. So you need to rein them in and say, okay, let's go bait Baron, let's go get this tower, let's go do this, let's go, you know, set up plays here. So it's hard to do when people are that far ahead because they do just want to have fun and run around and murder everybody. But just do the best that you can to try to rein them in. It didn't matter in that game, but it will matter in other games down the line. Okay, well, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. As always, I really appreciate it, Dylan. Yeah, I mean, this is just like some really higher order thinking stuff and strategic stuff that's going on. It's not things that, like, were, you know, wrong per se in the game, because almost everything she did was textbook correct. As far, I mean, yeah, I could point out a couple of places where you know, you missed your stun or you missed a skill shot or two, you know, whatever. You know when you missed stuff and you know to hit stuff. So that's not really constructive feedback. But, you know, I gave you some good feedback, I think, in terms of like the overall macro stuff to do, and then some suggestions in terms of build and itemization that I think are useful. So I definitely think, you know, Ardent plus Stoneborn is worth considering. You know, if you're dead set on going with the Deathfire heavy AP item, then you might consider going Leandri's a lot earlier on in your build. And I would definitely take Ignite. The Exhaust did save a couple of lives in there, but Ignite would have secured some kills, particularly early on, and you would have had more kill pressure without the jungler there. And then potentially leveling up your E, as I said before, outside of the laning phase. So once you get past level 5, leveling up your E, and maxing that out first to give you a higher team fight potential. Because you got to keep, if they get Mercury Treads, which smart players will do that against Veigar, especially if there's a fed Katarina on your team, then that's going to lower the duration of the stun by about 25%, I believe. I think it's 25 tenacity. So if they get Mercs and you only have a level 1 stun, they're probably going to get out of it before your W lands on them, and you don't want that to happen. So having a longer stun means your W is going to hit, and thus your full combo is going to hit, which is obviously the WQR. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing this. This is going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people have been talking about Veigar on the channel. I like Veigar support. I think he's a lot of fun. So this is some nice variation in here. You're always bringing us some fresh stuff. We had Ornn recently, and now we've got Veigar. So thank you very much, Dylan, for supporting the channel and bringing everyone else some nice, fresh content to look at here. And we'll see everybody next time. Have a good day.